Good evening, everybody. My name is Osa. It is Tuesday night after Memorial Day weekend, and we're going to be playing some Farm Sim 19 on the Old Stream Farm. Let's get to it. We have a tractor and a trailer. And I think we also have a harvester that's ready to do some stuff. So let's take a look at the state of our fields. We need, I'm pretty sure, something there is our harvester. What the heck's that? Oh, that's the header trailer. That'll be the header, and that's the field we want to start on. So we're going to jump over to the harvester and get started. Might as well take this over there as well while we're there. Okay, so trailer's empty, tipper's empty, wagon as my wife would call it. So many names. It's a wagon.
Yeah, it is a wagon.
Okay then. I'm hauling my wagon up the hill.
What do you call it?
I call it a tipper, sometimes a trailer. Oh!
Trailer's okay.
Huh? Okay, now here we can get into that thing. So, I'll probably need to unfold it. Okay, that works. So this is a little bit wider than our last one, which is a good thing. It might be an older harvester, but it's going to clear the crops quicker. What have we got here? Soybeans. So we'll take the headland out. I'm thinking I might only need to go round once. Oh, come on. There we go. Try not to reverse into the river. And there we go. Adjust the camera slightly with the mouse. That's easier. So that should give us room to maneuver around that tree. Everything's clear. So up this side. Oh, not quite so easy with the trees. I think if I want to expedite things, how do I need to? And what I could do is hire a worker to harvest this field, because it's going to take a while to fill this thing up. go and collect the hay. But then I have to pay a worker. Maybe I don't want to do that. Okay. That's once round. Hey Jeremy, how you doing? Cool. So we actually ended up spending the weekend in Ohio visiting my wife's family. Or at least some of them. Had some agricultural photo opportunities. Well, some of them were. Some of them were just extended family. And acquaintances. But yeah, I think we ended up, we're in eastern Ohio, just south of where Arthur lives. And I saw in that whole time one John Deere tractor hauling a John Deere round baler. Unfortunately didn't have the camera available for that. But then got back and the guy had two rather aged tractors with sort of round bale forks on the back, kind of like, where is it, baling, where's baling technology? One of these, but a single. So it didn't have four prongs, it just had the two, and they'd reverse up to a bale, drop it down, scoop the bale up and drive off with it. So I've got a couple of pictures of that. And then later that evening, all of the bales that they'd collected were wrapped and sat on the side of, down beside their barn. Saw a nice New Holland. Once again, didn't have the camera ready, and I was doing sort of 55 down a country lane, and it was sort of blink and you miss it. Couple of large cases. As I said, not much in the way of John Deere's out there. I don't think his house got... Well, it might have got hit by a storm. We were kind of lucky. I think we had rain one night, and that was it. Relatively quiet. And then coming home on the Monday, we went past a very large cattle farm. And for the first time ever, I actually saw some real-life square bales wrapped. They also had a whole bunch of... it's like they didn't use bunkers to put the to put their grass in, but effectively Tipper came along, tipped a long row of grass down, and that was all wrapped in large mounds. As I said, not sure how you would compact it, since there didn't seem to be anything supporting the sides of it. All of the bale wraps used were white, round and square. But as I said, yeah, the farm had probably about 4 or 5 large cattle sheds. Large cattle sheds. So he had a few hundred cattle on the property. So I can see him needing a significant amount of silage. As I said, he had about 5 sort of buried, mounds of covered silage, and I think about 16 rows of square bales, although row 1 was missing, and row 2 I think had just started being used. He very nicely numbered them with a bright blue coloured marker, I think it was. It was actually, it looked like a very good harvest, because the guy who was baling up with the John Deere, the field was very small. I mean, it was sort of a grass field within an area set aside for arable crop. And it wasn't particularly large, but he had a good couple of dozen bales at the end of it. So I'm guessing he left it till quite late before he cut the grass. So it was, and there were still some fields out there that hadn't been cut yet, and the grass was a good chest height, waist height in some places. Oh, who's that? Hi, Pig Alex. How you doing? I'm doing okay. Just about getting back in the swing of things after taking a 4-day weekend. Of course, since I was stuck in a hotel, I ended up watching some YouTube videos that I wouldn't normally watch. And I think one of them was a lass in South Carolina who was baling up some hay, and she was saying they'd left that a little bit late because of the weather, and the grass had ended up drying out, so it wasn't a particularly good yield. I think the video had been up for about a week, so yeah, you kind of want to get out there when your grass is green and luscious and fairly good quality, because if it gets to drying out, it gets all thin and weedy. Of course, it doesn't take long to turn it into hay, but you don't get a lot of it either. Really haven't kept up with much information in the last few days. I don't think there's been much in the way of mods for Farm Sim that I've seen, and I'm not actually sure there's been much in the way of news either. So I'm kind of out of news and out of information at the moment. My believe, what's it? Well, the warships, they're starting their latest ranked season the end of this week. It's going to be rank 10 and it's going to allow aircraft carriers, which is going to be horrible one way or another. Either you're going to end up with an aircraft carrier player who doesn't have a clue, or you're going to end up with an aircraft carrier player who knows his stuff, and if your aircraft player hasn't got a clue, then you're probably going to lose. And if your aircraft carrier player knows what he's doing, then you're probably not going to be top of the team. But, we'll have to see how that goes. I don't know how much I'll play. Aircraft carriers come in at rank 4. So yes, I've toyed around with them at rank 4. I have unlocked the rank 6s, but I really don't have the skills involved, and I was never really good at aircraft carrier RTS play. It's just sort of too much to keep track of. I gave up World of Tanks because I'm not that good at rapid reactions. First person shooters are not my cup of tea, and sort of complicated RTS is also not really good, because you're having to click around the map and click units and assign orders and jump to the next one, and in real time I really can't cope with that. Yeah, something like XCOM I can do because it's turn-based, and turn-based is easier, but yeah, I prefer something a little bit easier. Simulators are okay. World of Warships is slow enough that I can cope with it. We're talking World of Warships at the moment. Oh, well, that was handy. I could have ended up driving through a lot of crop if that hadn't happened. I wonder what mod caused that to happen, or whether it's a function of the harvester. Because Wednesday night is my World of Warships day. Thursday we do multiplayer trucking, and I do multiplayer with World of Warships if people want to join. Tuesday is Oldstream Farm. Friday is Mercury Farm. I usually try and time that for after Arthur's multiplayer farm is completed for the day. And Saturday morning is Lawfolds on Farm Sim 17. And then if my wife's feeling like it, Sunday night and Monday night, are Field Mountain, Farm Sim 19, as a 2-player map. And that about covers the week so far. In between getting kids to bed, getting kids disciplined, and all the other fun things that life throws at you. Ooh, that was close. I'm thinking this harvester is definitely a step up from the last one. And thanks for the follow, Pigalex. Okay. I believe I got one more soybean field to harvest after this one. Not sure how well we're going to do with the trailer load. It's nice to have a small harvester that isn't the Bison, one of the two New Hollands, or the Case. Class, even. Well, Case. No, Case, yeah, I was right. Okay, that's done. We can turn that off. Pop the pipe out, and we're going to have to stick the header back on the trailer. That didn't take long. Other side. I think the other side. I always get confused which side I'm supposed to approach these things from. This looks good. It's only a single, so... out and get low. Oh, no, I am supposed to put it on the other way around. Well done. Let's try that one again. If you're not familiar with it, Oldstream Farm is a very small farm. Very small fields. And we are making do with a single single tractor. It only has 130 horsepower. Okay, how does that look? That looks... okay, yes. Oh. So there's not a lot of opportunity to use workers on this farm. Not that I can get away with it because I've only got one tractor, so why hire a worker when I'm the only one to drive it? Or it's the only thing to drive. Go. And we'll now wander up to field 7, I think, which is along the main road. Nothing coming. Let's try and stay on the road. How about that? Let's try not to hit the car coming the other way. Oh, bags of room. Okay, again, this is going to be a little bit of a problem. We're probably going to end up blocking traffic when we try this maneuver. Yeah, kind of thought that. Okay. Oops. So this is what, more than half a load, so I'm going to dump this in the yard on the way over to field 7. So at the moment we are still finding the Massey Ferguson quite sufficient for our needs at the moment for this farm. I haven't found a job I can't do with it yet. Now, oh, we have parked far enough over that the traffic can get past. That's good. Ooh, stick that there. And the reason the truck stopped was because I jumped out in front of it. So now gauge forward gear and